Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charu Swami Niti Namini Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namini Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashri Gaura Bhakta Bandhu Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. With your permission, I will sit down today. I think this morning I experienced some low blood pressure while coming to the temple and I couldn't walk straight. So this is reality check for all of us. Anything can happen. We are not Iron Man. So it's been like what daughter said, 5 years, and I cannot fathom and I cannot do a reality check on that also, that Maraj has actually winded up his pastimes and it's already 5 years. The earlier days when Maraj used to come, I used to be somewhere in Thompson Road. It's a ashram where we used to stay and practice Krishna consciousness, brahmachari style. So Maharaj suddenly will appear and then we'll be having very nice association. Maharaj's favorite thing is in the kitchen. So at the time there was this World Trade Center, which is still around at the Harbour Front, where we used to have the international book festivals, and we used to be distributing books from there, and many devotees have actually come from there. Bhagavatam sets, cooking books, Bhagavad Gitas. The first book that we always give out was the Science of Self-Realization. So when we do all that, by the time we come back to the center, it will be about 10:30. Maharaj will be waiting. And first thing he'll ask is, hey Sudarshan Prabhu, how many big, how many small? How many big books and how many small books? He'll be asking like that. And then after that he will invite us for dinner and then personally serve us his favorite pizzas. My thought was like, how can someone make a pizza and not burn the base? Because it'll just come out just like that, with no staining and whatsoever. Sometimes he'll make this squidge with, what do you call that? Strawberries, and then I don't know whether it's paneer or milk or something. It's extremely 200% sweet stuff. Maraj used to serve all those, but he won't take any. And after which we still met him in Mayapur. We still met him in Singapore so many times. And he's been so kind that sometimes he will come and sit in front of me and do the fire sacrifice for the initiation. I saw his compassionate heart when one day we had an initiation ceremony, about 80 to 100 people sitting here, all shaved head. You cannot recognize everybody. They all look the same. And then Maharaj was speaking to the crowd, the audience, the devotees who were sitting here, and Maharaj was actually pleading. I was like, you can just do what you want because you're the Acharya here. But Maharaj said no. Maharaj was actually saying, there's these 3 boys or 4 boys, they have actually not passed the disciple examination. But they're very sincere, and very pure-hearted. So, do you think, I think we should give. He was like asking and discussing this with the audience. I was thinking, such compassionate heart. And even though they didn't pass the disciple course, Maraj went ahead and gave them initiation. So, to connect them, to connect anyone to Srila Prabhupada's Guru Sampradaya, it is out of compassion that Maraj actually made that move. And it is not easy because I don't know how many of you know that when you actually even do a normal fire sacrifice, which I used to do many times, the person who's doing the fire sacrifice will take the full-on karma of the persons you're doing for. So that is how serious it is to do fire sacrifice. And Maraj is here sitting with hundreds of them, and I think thousands of disciples. And he's just taking on all their karmas and relieving them and connecting them to Srila Prabhupada's mission. And how much more compassionate person can you see? You know. So this is some sublime qualities of the Acharyas. You know. So we have to be very serious. We have to understand. All our phones should be on silent mode. So we should try to understand that Krishna has actually been very, very kind and very merciful, because, you know, I know inside the core of every one of our heart, we know what kind of disqualifications we have. Not qualifications, but disqualifications. And with the disqualifications, we actually pray to Krishna, and we say, Krishna, somehow or other, please give me prema bhakti, or please give me some form of bhakti and devotional service, and so on and so forth. Now what happens is, Krishna is so kind. He says, okay, I will connect you. So by the mercy of Krishna, we get Guru. And by the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. Now, within the two, the Guru is even more merciful than Krishna himself, because he is able to take you and just push you in front of Krishna and say, here is, take him. And Krishna will listen. But on our own accord, we do not have that qualifications. We do not have that purity. We do not have Sudha Bhakti. So, now that we are here, we are connected, we have to become extremely, extremely cautious in our mind. Why? Because we don't need any charu. We don't need any enemies. We don't need anyone else. We need our own mind to spoil our own spiritual life. So we have to be very cautious with our own mind, our thoughts, you know, whatever that we are thinking, the thought process, everything should be dovetailed towards Krishna consciousness. So, once we are initiated, then we try in our level best to put everything in perspective. That we try our level best not to become super Krishna conscious, but to be in the service of the Guru and the devotees. And that alone will bring about a change in the heart. So every time we come into this temple, we must always tell ourselves, what difference can I make today? What service can I do today? And then, after that, leave. That is the fruit of coming to the temple that particular day. So this is how we slowly accumulate bhakti. So, Guru Maharaj has actually given us so much of mercy. And in fact, all the acharyas have given us so much of mercy, but to come and to travel. Today we are in the morning observing Ekadasi today. If Guru Maharaj flies to another place and it's Ekadasi the next day, and he still observes Ekadasi the next day, his Trayodasi doesn't count. It's again Ekadasi. So the amount of austerities that they go through, sometimes sleeping 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours. I've seen how Jayapada Maharaj used to be. You know, it's 24/7. I'm at his ashram, right on the Gada building, I think, right on top, where he's sitting on the swing. It is about close to 11 p.m. and I'm with one Mataji. I'm recommending her for initiation by him. I think she was here the other day for Gaur Govind Maraj, Manikundali Devi. I was recommending her for initiation. And it was almost 11 p.m. and Maharaj is still awake. And the next morning you see him for Mangalarati. Can you imagine? That much of mercy. They have just simply given us without any condition, unconditionally. So as we have to now treasure all these moments in our lifetime. You know, sometimes I'll confess, I have this fear. What if I leave the body tomorrow? Will I still have the memory of Guru Maharaj? Will I have the memory of Krishna consciousness or Krishna? What will happen then? I'm not bothered about what body I'm going to get, but I'm thinking about, can my consciousness flow to the next? Because definitely we know we have billions of births to go before we get any, purification. But the fact is, we have to think like that. We have to do a reality check and understand how precarious is our spiritual life. And yet, sometimes we are complacent. In fact, most of the time we are complacent. Prabhupada said very clearly once when the devotee asked, sometimes we are in Maya, so what should we do? And Prabhupada looked at the disciple and he said, not sometimes, always. Sometimes we are Krishna conscious. Prabhupada put it the other way around, so very beautifully. So we have to take all these opportunities, treasure them in our heart, and keep them enshrined in the temple of the heart, and then try to do some service for Guru Maraj. That is the thank you, or that is not even a thank you, but that is the least we can do for taking initiation. Somehow or other, preach. And if there's no one to preach, we read and we preach to ourselves. Prabhupada's books. That's what we should do. So, thank you so much for the opportunity. And we hope and pray to Guru Maraj that we should be able to continue whatever left of time we have in the service of the devotees. Hare Krishna. Jai His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maraj Vyasa Puja Ki.
Jai Shriman Sudarshan Prabhu Ki.